Hello, Flosstube friends, and welcome back to our Flosstube number 4. And we are continuing with our dyeing of our 9 new starts that I'm going to be doing this winter. And my name is Jamie Wallen, and welcome, please. Welcome to new subscribers, and welcome to those folks that have been here before and keep coming back for more of the insanity. It is so nice to have this community. So now, our next one that we're going to be dyeing is our Bella Filipina. What is her name? Her name is Crystal Mermaid Aquabella. So that one is one that I am getting ready to start. That one's actually going to be a gift for a friend if I live long enough to finish it, because it's a pretty big one. So that being said, let's move into that. Now, with that one, which is pictured here, what I want to do is I want to do a wash of aqua. I'm going to be doing aquamarine, and I'm going to be going from a dark to a light. Now, I've pre-mixed my dyes, so I have some aqua mixed with just a little bit of black dye. And again, if you want to know a little bit more about the dyes that I'm using, go and watch Flosstube 3. That being said, the bottom dark portion is the aqua mixed with a little bit of black to give it that depth. And then I want it to fade up into the corner into a very light aqua. So the mermaid is going to be swimming up towards the light, or towards the, what's that called in the water? The, what is that called? The light, the top of the water. If you're going down from the depths, it's called, why can't I remember what that's called? The light, the top of the water. Isn't there a name for that? I can't remember. Okay, there you go. So that's where we're going to start. And I have my fabric ready here. I'm going to set it aside. And I see I got a few little spots of some red there from somewhere, and that's okay. I will use the dark there. Let me put that over there. So I mixed up 2 different aquas. One is mixed with a little bit of black, which is going to be the dark.
You asked, so it is the epilagic zone.
The epilagic
Pelagic
zone. That is the top of the water.
Yes.
That's certainly not what I was thinking. I don't even know. I've never heard that kind of smarts before. So, okay.
Neither.
Epilagic zone. The epilagic zone
Epic,
of the ocean where the mermaid swims.
Ep,
Okay.
epic
Oh my
logic.
gosh. Zone. Epilogic. Okay, well there you go. You learn something new every day that I will never hold in that small brain of mine. Because that would mean I have to get rid of other useful things that would have to fall out of my ear, and that's not going to work. So the 2 that I've mixed, sorry about the detour there. The 2 that I've mixed is the dark aqua and black mix, which is going to be the bottom dark portion. And then I've mixed regular aquamarine, and that's what I'm going to be utilizing to create that light at the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of my aquamarine and add my water. And in my case, it's urea water. But in your case, if you're not using water to dilute, if you're just using water to dilute, that's fine too. And I'll put that there. Let me... I always have fabric soaking in soda ash for dyeing. Come on, rip. There we go. Ring. Ring. Okay. Small piece. Okay, so let's test that. Let's see how light that is. Okay, let's open that up. And that's nice and light. So that is a nice light area up in the upper, it'll be the upper left-hand corner. I like that. I think that's pretty good for the light. So I'm going to set that aside. All right, and now I'm going to show you a little tip. I'm going to grab an extra glove, put it on over this glove. Do I want it on over that one? No. I want it over my left. I have to think. Which hand? This one's not totally healed yet from my carpal tunnel surgery. This one's doing pretty good. So I'll use the extra glove here. You'll see why. Because a lot of you may wonder, well, how do they get different colors that are pure when they're dyeing multicolored stuff? So this will kind of show you a little bit of how that's done. I'm also going to grab a rubber band, set that aside, have that ready. Grab my fabric. I've got my few little oopsie spots of red here. So I'll have that be the dark bottom, and I'll have up here be the light portion. So this is going to be the light. I'm going to grab my diluted, and I'm going to consider the lilies. When I figured out this fabric, what I figured was 3 inches around the outer edge. So I want to go in a little deeper than that so that it shows up in the cross stitch. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to dump it into that diluted dye. Actually, I can go just a little deeper. Okay. Now, I am simply going to look at that. I'm going to consider, so let's take me down. Okay, so here's what I've got. I'm going to consider 3 inches, 3 inches. So I have my light right there. Make sure I've got this right. Get my bearings. Oh, there we go. Now I'm right. Okay. So I've got my 3 inches. I've got my light here. So that's good. I might put a little more right on there because that can bleed down a little bit. That's not going to hurt anything. So now to keep this pure light, when I put the dark on the rest, I'm going to go ahead, make sure that that's worked in. Put a little bit right there too. Set this aside. Get a visual. Grab this right to about there. I'm going to take that glove, close it off, just like that. Take my rubber band, wrap it there. And now that's going to hold that light area, and it's not going to get violated by the other dark as we work our way. So now I'm going to open this up just like this. I'm going to go right for my aqua and black. I'm going to go in here, give it a shake again, get that powder all worked through there, and you can see that that is nice and dark. Okay, now what I want to do, I don't have any on my hands, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go this way and push it down. So I'm going to keep this bottom separated from there. That deep black, aqua, darkness. Let that soak up a little bit there. Okay. Work just a little bit from my hand in there. I'm going to bring that up. I'm going to pause, give myself a rinse. I'm going to grab another glove. I'm being real cautious not to get too much up there because I want there to be a blend. Okay, now I'm going to grab this, which is the dark. I'm going to do the same thing. Grab another rubber band. Seal it. Okay. And now I know that what's happening here is kind of the mid-tone, right? So I know now that this middle portion here, I've got my dark bottom, I've got my light, ultralight top here, and then this is the blend. So now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to close that up. Grab a bag. And wrap it. All right, so that's one that we will definitely have fun opening. I'm going to double bag it. You know, just throwing dye on fabric is fun. We love that. But also sometimes with some of these beautiful pieces that we put hundreds of hours into, it's just really nice to take that extra time and do some design work when you're doing the fabric, or find somebody that likes to do it and have them do it for you. All right, so now let me set that aside. So now we're going to move on to our next one. We'll be right back. Okay, so the next one we're going to be doing is for Mermaids of the Deep Blue. Mermaids of the Deep Blue. That is a Mira. Yep, Deep Blue. I couldn't remember if it was Mermaids of the Deep, Mermaids of the Deep Blue. And it is Mermaids of the Deep Blue, which is amazing. Um, Mother and daughter mermaid. I love it. I've always loved this one. I've always wanted to do it, and I got the chart and the stuff to do it like at least 10 years ago, and there it sits in the bag. So I think it's time to get her done or get her started at least. So with that one, what I want to do is I want a nice intense blue without being too dark. So I've mixed up a pretty deep, and when you see me do that, what I'm doing is I'm testing my dyes to see when they get old, they start to smell a little bit like ammonia. Um, so I'm going to put some here, add my water. And for me, that's urea water. Let's just see what we got there. What do I think? I think if we come down here, that's just a little bit too dark. Just a hair too dark. Maybe. How's that? It's my qualifier. So what I'm going to do, but I mean, it's like right there, but I just don't want it that blue. So I'm going to jump half out of that. More water. And again, because I'm not introducing soda ash to anything here, I can still dump any of these back into the master. Okay. That's it. That's what I want. I want that nice. I want it to be intense, but I don't want it to be too dark. So that's where I'm going to head with that. So that's my go. Let me wipe these up. My little tester, and I can use this little piece of scrap for something. Even though I have a million scraps. Okay, so now let me grab my fabric. Okay, I don't want a ring. Okay, and so I know now that I'll put my length down here. Okay, Jamie. Let's see. So I'm gonna do a little something real, sometimes you just gotta adjust a little bit. Let me double check this. Yep, that is a long way. So what I wanna do is I'm gonna take a smidge of this full strength. So it's a little darker than what we just did. And I'm going to, kind of for the same reason when we did a crystal, I'm going to start with a little bit of a deep dark down below. And then let me rinse. I'm going to bleed that into that next color, which I felt was just a little darker than what I wanted to go. Okay. And now rinse. I like the thought of the gradation on this. So again, we'll adjust on the fly. We know that that's our top. Okay, I'm going to put that up there. Yay, I like that. Okay. So we'll do that where it's a little darker on the bottom, a little lighter on the top. Rinse. Glove. Rubber band. this. Make sure there's no dirty bird white. Nope. So, okay, that's good. Ooh, I see white there. Get out of there. Oh, darn spot. Glove. Just a little darkness there. Okay. Separate. Wrap. Put this in a bag and we'll move on to our next one. Okay, so our next one is going to be another NIMU, Hare and Postman, as pictured here. And on most of the ones that I see, they use a gray background, and I want to do something a little more than that. So what I'd like to do is I would like to do a blue sky with um, dirt ground. So the hare is running through the dirt, and then of course in the background is going to be the blue sky. All right, so the first thing I'm going to start with is I did mix a light blue for the sky. I know that my brown is going to cover the blue if I ended up going over further than I want to go. So I'm good with that. So let's go down to here. I'm going to put a bit there, just like that. We're going to do that. I'm going to find that part. I'm going to isolate it because again, I don't want brown in my sky. All right. Okay, so we've got that. Now we have this. So I'm going to grab my hot chocolate because I'm using a hot chocolate. I have a few different browns, but I like the hot chocolate. And I need to give it a little stir. Stir it up. How dark do I want to go? That's always a question. No, I might do maybe a little bit dark there. And then here, that's all right. That works. Okay, so now go in there, dark and dirt. Okay, there we go. I like that. Almost there, but I'm going to put just a little bit more of that deep dark. Deep dark. Grab that. Glove. And by the way, down the road, down the road, down the road, we're going to play with some fabric inks one of these times on some of this stuff. I'm going to show you how to do some amazing bleach bubbles and adding color in with some fabric inks. And they're permanent, so they they last. They're pretty cool. And you can use dyes for that as well. And there's so many different things we can do with our cross-stitch canvas that I just think is really wonderful. So we got this piece done. Let's get that bagged. And then we'll move on to our next one. Okay, so our next one is going to be, let me wipe that up a little bit, Maiden of Chubitaha. That's the best way I can say it. That's a Bella Filipina. Now, her, I want to have multiple colors. She is that amazing mermaid. I think she's my second favorite, although I really like that crystal one. You know, I bought that crystal one a while back, and there's a period where I was like, boy, do I love it. And now I love it. I think it's great. But, and then Mermaids of the Deep, blue is always my number one. And then, of course, I think number two is Maiden of Chibataha. That's how I will pronounce it. Okay, so with that one, what I'm going to be using, I'm going to be using some purple. Going to be using a little bit of mulberry. Going to be using a little bit of intense blue. Going to be using a little bit of grape. Going to be using a little bit of aqua. And Island Breeze. And there we have it. So those are the ones that I will be using. Let me see. I want the bottom to be the darkest, so I always like to keep I write the name of it as I'm cutting the fabrics for these with the micron pens because, of course, they don't fade away when I'm soaking them in the soda ash. So I'll keep that. I try to keep that towards the bottom so I know what's placement. Okay, so I'm going to start a little bit darker in the bottom. So I think what I'll do is I will use my intense blue here, and that's kind of light. It's like more light than I want it to be light. I'll come back to that. I will come back to that. I will come back to that. Okay. So I'll put a little bit of that. I will put a little bit of deep purple. There we go. Now we got some stuff going on here. Deep purple down there. A little bit of deep island breeze. Because again, we're underwater here. I like that. Let's do a little limey green, just cause. Okay, let's get a little over there. Let's do hold that thought. Oh, there it is. Okay, I don't have to hold that thought. Oh, maybe I do. Let's use a little bit of alpine blue, which can be a little darker because I want a little bit of a darker. I wanted navy, but I don't want to mix up any navy this close to being done. So this will have to be kind of my navy. Now, I have my base. I'm going to roll that up just like that. Okay, that's not bad. I like that. That works for me. Let me put some of that together. Squeeze that through. Ooh, that is cool. Okay, so we got, it's hard to tell. I got purple here, got some of that limey green. Let me get a little bit more of that light blue in there. Now, I like this bit of purple here, but I want just a little bit more of the intense blue. So let's get intense blue. Blue Bayou. Okay, just out of curiosity, let's put it there. Okay, yeah, that's nice. Nice, nice. I still want to keep those greens. I still want to keep, rinse my hands. I still want to keep some of that. But I just want there to be just a little more of the intense blue. And I'm actually going to go deep here because she's coming up from the depths. And a little mulberry. Just a little mulberry. Okay, and it looks dark in that splotch, but there we go. Now I'll put it all together. Run that down to the bottom. Oh yeah, okay, loving that. Let's go face on. That'll be the bottom. Nice. Now, I want a little more green here. And I want a little bit of the limey. What do I do with the lime? Lime green. A shot of lime. Right there. Just to kind of run that through there. Okay. Let's go face on. Yeah, I like that. Like that, like that. Now, let's take this. Wad it. Set it there. Bag it, and then we will do our last die. Okay, so our next one is going to be Bella Filipina Rihanna Mariposa. And if I pronounce that wrong, forgive me, but that's how I pronounce it. So that's the one shown here. So, of course, I want to liven up that background a little bit. So I'm going to use my dark aqua and black kind of as a base. Just to kind of offset the purples and the reds and those type of colors. All right, so now next I'm going to do some regular aqua as I head up. So we'll go from dark into regular again, so I get sort of that kind of gradation. And then I'm going to take it, I mixed a little bit of the island color. And now I kind of want to do a what is he thinking? And it could very well be that. And remember, whenever you dye, if you don't like it, over dye it. And remember, you can always use a little bit of bleach resist if you don't like it. And do a little bit there. Okay, so now let me roll this up. And part of the reason I want to go with these colors is because I really want those oranges, reds, boysenberries from the thread that we have for her to pop. And I think these are some pretty cool colors to do that with. Okay, I need a little more stuff there. I want my limey green. There we go. Let's get some of that limey green on top. I'm looking at the picture on the pattern of her. So that is what I'm going to go with. Now she is sitting on something, obviously. So she's lounging. Let me go back to my picture of her. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to my dark aqua and black. And I think on this part where she's sitting, I kind of want that to be a little bit darker shadowy in there. Okay. Okay, there we go. So we got dark, where she'll be sitting in the base, and then it goes a little lighter. And then as we come up to the top, we've got some of that really cool lime green, which I think the wings of her will show off really well on that. All right, there we have it. Let's do a face on. So that ends episode 4 with all the dyeing portion for these 9 new starts. And the next one is going to be the rinsing and the final review. So we will see you then. As always, take care of yourself, take care of each other. We'll see you all down the road. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. That really does help me out. And hit the bell if you want to know whenever I put out new videos. Thank you, everybody. Take care of yourself. We'll see you later. Bye.